A very good morning, Team Zimbabwe. Mamukase. Welcome to Africa and Beyond Television Network. And this morning, we need to take a look on what President Nelson Chamisa, the leader of the main opposition in Zimbabwe, said regarding the budget which was presented by Mnangagwa a few days ago. So Mnangagwa presented his 2024 budget, and in that budget, there are a lot of issues. There is an issue of tax, which is a huge concern to a lot of people because of how they've decided to tax the people of Zimbabwe. There are also adjustments on key issues like the toll gate fees. They've been reviewed upwards. Passport fees also reviewed by more than 100%. And that has caused a lot of concern. And a lot of calls are being made by the people in the opposition and those in business and the citizens in general who are actually calling for the rejection of this budget. So we are going to explain. President Nelson Chamisa says a disastrous budget. The proposed tax measures is an absolute disgrace and a reminder that Rhodesia is back. What a mockery to our independence and liberation ideals. Never expect a good budget from a bad government, especially upon rigged elections. The chickens are coming home to roost. Nothing stands on lies. Things fall apart. Everything is collapsing like a deck of cards. All budget fundamentals ignored. And not particular regard paid to the Abuja Declaration on Health, Maputo Declaration on Agriculture, and the Dakar Declaration on Education Financing. The budget is a heap of more pain, penury, and suffering. Many people are being left behind. Zimbabwe has become not just banana, but a cartel's republic. Zimbabwe needs a new government, a citizens' government, and a return to majority rule. This is what President Nelson Chamisa has said. And a lot of people are agreeing with President Nelson Chamisa. So if you take a look on what caused the liberation struggle, I think this is a different topic which we need to cover on its own. If we are to talk about what caused the liberation struggle, it was overtaxing. The people were being overtaxed and oppression, all sorts of things which are happening right now, which means that Zimbabwe is now a replicate of Rhodesia. This is what President Nelson Chamisa is saying, and he clearly indicated that this is a mockery of our independence and liberation ideals. Why did our parents go to war? What were the liberation struggle ideals, values, and principles? That is a very important question. So if you take a look on the issue of passport is moving from $120 to $200 for an ordinary passport, and for an emergency to $300 US. A lot of people are saying the government now wants to make money through impoverishing people, pushing them out of Zimbabwe, then make money out of them. And it's so bad. And then the issue of taxes, guys, every home which is worth 100,000 and above is now being taxed 1% annually, which means pagore imba yega yega iri 100,000 and above iri kuzobhadhara iyo 1,000 US dollars kuhurumende as a form of tax. We have to talk about it later on and show you the disadvantages of that. Then there is another issue of toll gates from $2 to $5 along Harare Bedbridge Road, then $4 on other roads. Saka iwe kanaoneka motikari kako uchienda kumusha, if you have 5 toll gates, just know that you have to pay more than $25 if you are traveling across the Harare Bedbridge Road. For example, we have how many toll gates? We have 1, 2, 3. We have around 4 toll gates along Harare Bedbridge Road, which means you have to part away with $20 for you to reach Bedbridge. To and fro, $40 you have to part away with just paying toll gates. So if you are driving a truck, then you are in trouble. If you are driving a bus, more trouble. What does it mean? It means if you are driving a bus, you are going to put the burden on the passenger who is boarding that bus. So for passengers who will be saying, "Tetrim bus, it is no problem." No, you have a problem because the operators will simply hike the prices so as to cover matogets iwayo. And the same applies to the transporters of public goods, truck drivers, they will simply hike the prices or the load prices, and it will have an impact on the ordinary citizen of Zimbabwe, because you have to consume expensive goods, you have to board expensive buses, and is not going to be well with you. So it doesn't matter when you are driving or not, prices are simply going to go up high. They are already up high, and they are going to go up high once more. And this is what President Chamisa is actually saying, that let us talk about the Abuja Declaration on Health. The Abuja Declaration on Health, it speaks about the health sector being funded more. There is a certain percentage which the health sector should get from the whole budget. Zimbabwe didn't meet that threshold. There was also a declaration on agriculture and a declaration on education, financing. All those sectors have been disregarded, and the security sector is being regarded most, or has been preferred most than any other. So, ndozvo zviri vana vezimbabwe, let us brace up for more. Is this going to be right? Because we're not going to pay all these taxes back. Remember, kuti vari kumamisha, they also depend neavo vari kutown. So if you are in the rural areas and you have a home in the urban areas, you have to part ways with $100 annually. Imba yako iwewe marentals auri kubhadharisa iwewe per month, uri kubhadharisa marentals emari. So if you are getting rentals of $100 a month from your own home, it means that $100 will not be enough for you to be able to travel kunotora mari yacho, or the cost associated, then nekuzobhadhara tax iri kunzi ubhadhare, it won't be enough. So imba yako iwewe hausina chauchawana paimba yako, every dollar is now going to settle taxi yawakanzi unge uchibhadhara. So if you are staying pamba pako ipapapo, just know that at the end of the year you are required to pay $1,000 to the government of Zimbabwe, which means tese tamaroja tese tafanana. So it is what it is in Zimbabwe. Ndozvazviri maroja aichema kakuti pagore ndiri kubhadhara so and so and so, and I'm losing so much, but iwewe muridzi weimba, you are now suffering the same. But who is going to suffer more? The house owners are going to adjust and just hike the rentals, because they won't afford to make nothing out of their homes. So the person who is occupying the tenant is the last person who is going to suffer more, because the burden will simply be passed on to the tenant. Those are zvinenge zviri munyika yeZimbabwe. So everybody is going to be affected. Tese tiri kuaffectwa nenyaya idzedzidzi. So it is what it is in Zimbabwe. In the comment section, please let us talk. What do you think about this budget which was proposed by Mtuli?